This is Real Deal Sports Talk with KP. I am KP. It is February 3rd, 2018, Super Bowl Saturday. This is our Super Bowl show. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. We got a lot to talk about today, a lot to get in. We got an interview with Marques Ogden, former NFL tackle. We have audio from Vance Johnson, a good friend of the show, giving his prediction for the Super Bowl. Kind of how it came about, him making that pick. We're going to break down the game. We'll tell you all the action, the start time, who's performing. We're going to give offensive and defensive players keys to the victory for each team, key players for each team, some of the headlines that are coming out this week everybody's been talking about. And then just some of the other, fun stuff that's come out this week during Super Bowl week that I want to get in. Of course, my prediction will come at the closing. We have heard the Fly, Eagles, Fly. At the end of the show, we will play the Patriots theme song as well, by no order other than I just didn't want to hear from Eagles fans as to why the Patriots song was first. So Patriots, don't worry, your song is included in the show as well. And Eagles fans, congratulations. You got to kick off the show today with Fly, Eagles, Fly. We can only hope. All right. Excuse me. Going into tomorrow, February 4th, 2018, we will be witness to Super Bowl 52 in Minneapolis, Minnesota at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mark your calendars. Set your phone alarms. This is the best day of the year. This is my favorite holiday. This is above, and I'm going to get some backlash for this. I know it's not really a holiday. It's just blah, blah, blah. No, to me, this is a holiday. This is the biggest holiday of the year. This is bigger than Christmas, bigger than Valentine's Day. And sorry, honey, it's bigger than our anniversary. This is my favorite day. My favorite team has not ever played in the Super Bowl. As you guys know, I am a diehard Detroit Lions fan. We have not sniffed an NFL championship since 1957. That being said, everybody asks me every year, who are you rooting for? Who are you picking? Who do you want to win? And I say I want the Lions to win. They go, well, they're not even playing in it, dummy. I'm like, well, yeah, I know that. But that's who I want to win the Super Bowl. So if they're not playing in the game, I don't have a vested interest. My interest in the game then is I want to see a good game. Many storylines could come of this game to make it a good game. And we'll talk about some of those as we go through the show today. And when I give my prediction at the end, my prediction at the end is not going to be based on who I want to win. I don't have a want. My want would be that the Lions were in this game, and they're not. So, Super Bowl weekend. We've got the build-up all week. You guys have been listening to the prognosticators. You've been listening to the interviews, reading the articles, watching the videos. Bombarded this week. Now it's time. The players are going through their final meetings tonight. They're getting ready to go to sleep, wake up, and play the biggest game of their lives. Regardless if they've been in this game before. This is now the biggest game of their life. Those are over. This is the now. Biggest game of anybody's life. Tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Performing the national anthem, you're going to have Pink. She's feeling under the weather right now by reports I'm hearing this evening, but she is slated to do the national anthem. Leslie Odom Jr. Is slated to do the perform America the Beautiful, and Justin Timberlake, of course, is set to headline, as they are wording it, the halftime show. So who knows who might come out with him. He said during his press conference that they're looking to do something that hasn't really been done before in the Super Bowl halftime show. So we're looking forward to probably a pretty good entertainment package along with the best game of the year. Now, one thing I'm just going to get out of the way right now, the idea, this talk of the Patriots are cheaters, they got the refs in their pockets. Let's flip the script on that. Okay, and let's talk about legacy and greatness. Because the idea that the Patriots are the only team cheating, or that the Patriots are the only team who try and bend the rules or find a loophole, is a joke. Okay, it's a joke. It stems from the team being so good for so long, and your team's not there, so it's jealousy. Because trust me, if anybody who's listening to this show right now, myself included as I say these words, were to be in the same situation as a fan as New England Patriots fans are, you would not feel the same way about the infractions against your team. Deflategate talk, drop it. I've told you guys too many times that same season Aaron Rodgers admitted to breaking the same rule. The Minnesota Vikings were caught breaking the same rule and nobody made a stink about it because those teams did not win Super Bowls. You guys are choosing to hate because of the legacy, because of the greatness, because of the consistency. Yes, they broke some rules. And again, I'll state it on this show. Some of the biggest fines in the history of this league have been for the Denver Broncos in the years they won back-to-back Super Bowls. Everybody's doing it. They got caught. They're winning. That breeds jealousy and anger. I get it. But what we're seeing, we might not ever see again. One team over almost a 20-year span now doing what they've done. One quarterback playing on that team for the entire time. Probably will never be done again. It's greatness. It's great. I would love this if this was the Lions who had been doing this for the last 18, 19, 20 years. Absolutely would be living in it. But it's not. So I sit back as a football fan and I respect it. And I appreciate it. And I watch it. I also enjoy when it gets beat. I enjoy when that underdog rises up and takes it to him. Like Brandon Marshall said, everybody should be ashamed that this has been allowed to go on. Because you're not stepping up your game. You're not going harder. You're not putting in the extra practice, making it a lifestyle to knock them off. They have the Patriots way. Philadelphia is building a program right now based on consistency, based on a model. They know what kind of player they want at each position, and they are going after that type of guy. High level, low level, mid level, it doesn't matter. This is the guy we need at this position. That's who we're looking for. I like what Philly's building. They have a strong base. They got some strong pieces in the interior, in the core of their offense and defense. They have a young stud quarterback and an amazing, a backup right now who's playing amazingly, who has taken over where the starter left off. So let's get into it. Let's break down this game a little bit. I'm starting to get into it. We started with the Eagles song, so we're going to start with the Patriots side of the ball. We're going to break down the Pats. So storylines this week that have been talked about, Gronk cleared, concussion protocol. Did any of us question that was going to happen? Did anybody think Gronk was not going to play in this game? He talked about how you can beat protocol, basically. There's money on the line. The doctors are being paid. He may or may not be actually cleared, but he's going to play in this game. It wasn't a question. I'm not surprised by that at all, okay? And he didn't play last year. Remember, he was injured last year also. So anything they could do to get him cleared, whether he was healthy or not, was going to happen this year, especially for a concussion. So he's cleared. Is this really, truly, based on all the reports we've heard, Patricia and McDaniel's last go-around with Belichick in New England? If that's so, and New England wins this game, does Belichick then ride off into the sunset and retire, having won 6 Super Bowls, losing both of his coordinators, the potential rift there with the owner and the quarterback? Is that a storyline that comes out of this? Or does he just retool, grab a couple more guys? I still got Brady. We're still just going to keep pressing on. Like when McDaniels left the first time, they brought in Bill O'Brien, didn't skip a beat. Of course, they brought in Randy Moss at that time too, but whatever. like I said, this is Belichick and Brady's 8th appearance. This is the Patriots' ninth Super Bowl appearance. If they win, they tie the Steelers for 6 Super Bowl titles for a franchise. They would be the leaders, respectively, for a head coach and a quarterback with 6 titles apiece, or for a player at that point, because Brady would pass Charles Haley, who has 5 titles. So those are some of the storylines being talked about this week. Let's look at the Patriots' offense. Their offense in the playoffs right now is the 4th ranked offense, okay? They're putting up 29.5 points per game. They've scored a total of 59 points, 391 yards per, 5.5 yards per play. They are 1 for 1 on 4th down in the playoffs, which they generally don't have a lot of 4th downs. And they have had, let's see how many turnovers. They are -1 in the turnover margin in the playoffs as an offense right now. If you look at their defense in the playoffs, New England's defense in the playoffs is the 3rd ranked defense in the playoffs this season. They have given up a total of 34 points, 17 points per game. I'm seeing that the Hall of Fame nominees have been announced, so we'll try and fit that in at the end of the game. They're giving up 320 yards per game, and they have recovered 1 turnover on defense. Not bad at all, right? Okay, sounds pretty good. They're 3rd and 4th, respectively, on offense and defense. So then, who would the key players, in my opinion, on those 2 squads for the Patriots have to be in order for them to be successful? Because, if you're coming into the Super Bowl and you got the 3rd and 4th ranked offense and defense respectively, you're feeling pretty good about yourself. So what did they have to feel good about? Well, Gronkowski's going to be out there. He's a mismatch. We know that. Brandon Cooks, he's going to get a couple plays here and there. We're all celebrating Danny Amendola. Well, Danny Amendola was a benefit of he was the guy that game. The Patriots have a guy, it seems like, every game who steps up, and he's that guy. He's the guy that makes the catch that we didn't know was going to happen. So, out of their receiving core, you look at Brandon Cooks, Danny Amendola, Slater, Reedy. Nice story about him this week with his outside of football job that he does. Chris Hogan, Philip Dorsett, and Kenny Britt, who we haven't really seen because he came over towards the end of the season. Who's going to be the guy in this one? If I had to put my money on somebody being the surprise guy with the way New England does it, I would say Kenny Britt. As silly as that sounds, I would say look out for Kenny Britt because he has some talent, and we haven't seen him in this system, and there could be a play or 2 made here or there that makes him the guy. Also key in this game are going to be both tackles. Nate Solder and Cameron Fleming are going to have great games. They are going to have to take this wide 9 and put the guys down and give Brady time. They can't give up the pressure the way the Giants were able to get pressure on Brady and disrupt the game. They're going to have to lock it down on the outside in the tackle position. And as far as you look at the running backs, who knows which of these running backs is going to do something in this game? It could be Dion Lewis, James White, Rex Burkhead, Mike Gillislee. Brandon Bolden could get some carries. Who knows? I mean, they still have James Devlin on the bench also. They're going to use a multiple of players and a multiple of looks with shifts and adjustments all over the place. But offensively, of course, in Tom we trust. Rob Gronkowski and those 2 tackles have to have great games. And my surprise pick, I am going to go with Kenny Britt to make some kind of a crazy play to help the Patriots in this one, which, who knows? He might not even see the field. Defensively, You're looking at guys like Trey Flowers, who have really been able to rush the passer better at the end of the season. Malcolm Brown and Lawrence Guy in the center with Alan Branch and Ricky John Francois. That rotation is going to have to be strong against Philadelphia's run game, against Ajayi and against LeGarrette Blount, the former Patriot. The linebackers, I don't really have a key guy there. You could see James Harrison causing some trouble in this one for sure. Kyle Van Noy, he could be a guy they try and attack in the passing game with the running backs. Maybe Clement, get him out there on Van Noy, create a mismatch that way for Philadelphia. Stephon Gilmore and Malcolm Butler are going to have solid games, period. Safeties, you're going to have to be able to make sure you don't let those guys get deep. Because normally on scramble routes, you got the guys, deep routes come back, short routes go deep. Philadelphia is doing the opposite. They got the deep routes going deeper, and the short routes kind of staying put as they go through. So the safeties for New England are also going to have a strong game. Keys to victory for New England, in Tom we trust. Keep doing your adjustments. Diversity at the running back position, and then keep it close. Don't let Philadelphia get away from you and start putting up a lot of points, because they have the type of defense that you're not going to come back from. Now, we're going to get to Philadelphia here in a little bit, but next, I had the opportunity this week to interview Marques Ogden, former NFL tackle, drafted by Jacksonville, played for a few other teams. So let's go ahead and listen to that interview now. All right, joining us today on Real Deal Sports Talk with KP, we have NFL veteran offensive tackle Marques Ogden. Marques, you had a career. You started playing football at Howard University. You were drafted in the draft class with Jacksonville Jaguars of 2003. You played for the Titans, the Bills, the Ravens, and you've moved on to another part of your life. You've reinvented yourself. Tell everybody a little bit about what you got going on right now, what you're doing, because I'm really impressed with what it is you're doing.
Thanks, Kyle. Thanks for having me on. What I do now is I'm an expert keynote speaker. I'm an executive coach. I work with clientele all across the country, COOs, executives, senior VPs of banking institutions, retail business. I also have a leadership academy that we have once a year. This one's going to be in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's very well respected and received by the National Football League, Players Association, some people from the NBA, National Hockey League. And we try to do a really good job of creating an environment where our attendees can learn, grow, but more importantly, and most importantly, how they can network. And I'm also in the process of starting an expert speaking academy online with a business partner out of Houston, Texas, helping people to start learning how to scale their businesses.
I love to hear that. You're helping people out. People are being able to reach their dreams. Now, this Leadership Academy you're having that's coming up in Vegas, how can people find out about that or get themselves out there to be part of this?
So they can go to our website, which is www.ogden, Ogden, leadership.com, or they can email me at Marques, Marques, at ogdenleadership.com, or my other email address, which is Marques, Marques, _Ogden, Ogden, at yahoo.com.
And we will share this information on the website as well. But you guys, you got to take advantage of this. This is somebody who's done it. He's living it. He's got the experience, and he's willing to share this help. This is an amazing thing. We're so glad that you could spend some time with us on the show. Obviously, it's Super Bowl week. You were an NFL player. You got to have some opinions as a former offensive tackle of the tackles that are in this game. You got Vaitai and Lane Johnson there for the Eagles, and then Nate Soldier and Cameron Fleming for the Pats. Tell me a little bit about what you think about these guys' games.
I think they're all good tackles. I think Nate Soldier is probably the best. He's been in the game longest. He was the first-round draft pick, I believe, out of Boston College. Been with the Patriots his whole career. Solid. Never been a true Pro Bowl tackle, like a Jason Peters, who was in Philadelphia, who was my teammate, or Dwayne Brown, some of the guys like that. But I don't think that really, in my opinion, it's affected his play. I mean, he's an above-average tackle in pass protection. Fleming struggles a little bit with speed rushers, which, could be an issue in this game. The Eagles' tackles are inexperienced. I think isn't Lane Johnson like a first, second-year player, I believe? He hasn't been around that long. And the other tackle is really coming in to Peters, who now, of course, unfortunately, I think Jason Payton had to retire after that injury. It's just too bad, man. I was actually talking to one of my former teammates from Buffalo, who actually lives in the same area that I do of North Carolina, which is crazy. And I was telling him about how Jason Peters and I had a locker right next to each other when we were both in Buffalo. And, he's had a great career, arguably a Hall of Famer, just a great guy. And it's just sad to see him, him not in the game and Carson Wentz not in the game and, all that kind of stuff. So, the tackle play, I would have to get the edge probably to New England just because of Nate Soldier, his ability to he's a veteran. I mean, he's played in several Super Bowls and he's been around for a while. So I have to get the edge slightly to New England.
Okay, slightly to New England on that one. I would have to agree with you due to, the injuries, Peterson being out and things like that. I would tend to be on your side with that. Now, with that being said, who do you think will win and who do you want to win if it's different?
Who do I think's going to win? It's New England.
Okay.
Who do I want to win? Is the Eagles.
Right.
I like to see someone different get in there. I like to see, I mean, don't get me wrong, Tom Brady is the best quarterback of all time, bar none. I don't care who you want to bring up. I love Joe Montana. The stats speak for itself. The numbers speak for itself. This man's 40 years old. I mean, I'm looking at guys like Phillip Rivers, his arm strength and arm, and his accuracy declining. Drew Brees is not even close to what he was 5 to 10 years ago. But Brady at 40, to me, the ball has not wavered or dampered or struggled at all to get where it needs to be with accuracy, precision, touch, and strength of throw. So, again, I don't understand why people say, Spygate, Deflategate. I mean, Deflate. I get all that, man. And trust me, I do. And I'm not a New England fan, but I'm also going to be a realist. The guy's just that good. So, and Belichick is just that good. As a keynote speaker, I talk to people all the time about how I met him when I was 15 years old, and he was just 5 from the Browns, and he was picked up by the Ravens. A lot of people don't know this, that, Ted Marchibroda actually stuck his neck out to Mr. Kraft to hire Bill Belichick because Ted was retired from the NFL because in '98 Ted Marchibroda retired and Brad Miller came in.
That's right.
Ted went out on the limb for Bill to Mr. Kraft, from what I understand. And this is why Bill got hired in '98 and has not turned back. And we're looking at, 20 years later?
It's been very impressive. Very impressive.
Call it what it is. I mean, it's like, I am a football realist, and I'm never going to be like a fan. My team, by far, bar none, is the Ravens. Play for them. I love them. Great fans, great community. Baltimore is my number one team, and I was really sad when they missed the playoffs. But they would have struggled in the playoffs anyway, so whatever. But New England just has some great – they got the best player in the NFL today, and he happens to be the quarterback that is the captain or the general of the team, the leadership position, and they got a great head coach. And again, when Josh Daniels goes off to the Colts, you won't see him miss a beat.
That's true. They are a machine.
I mean, what? Then Josh went to the Broncos, stunk it up, got fired, and then Bill brought him back.
Yeah, brought him back, and it was like he was great again. All of a sudden, he was the best play caller in the league. And that's what they continue to do. Tom looks like, 45 doesn't look like it's going to be hard for Tom to get to at this point.
No, it's not. If he keeps going like this, I mean, I don't see him stopping or slowing down. Like I said, Josh McDaniels, is not a great OC. He's just got a really, really great quarterback.
That definitely
so when
helps.
He goes to the Colts, he's going to struggle again. Like, they have, a hurt loss at Brissett. I mean, the Colts don't have much to work with at all. Like, they're starting from the bottom of the barrel. So, I mean, I know Josh McDaniel wants to get a head coaching job. I understand he wants to call the shots. I get it, and I'm not mad at him. But he's going to struggle in Indianapolis big time.
Yeah, it definitely does not have the roster or the player in Tom Brady there in Indianapolis that he's been so lucky to have to make his name on.
And Bill Belichick has made his name off Tom Brady as well.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, you look at what he did in Cleveland there, and it didn't work out so well. Then you get yourself a Tom Brady, and all of a sudden you can take off.
Yep, because the first 3 years they had in New England, they weren't very good.
No, they weren't.
They weren't very good. So, and they got that guy in the 6th round. He was drafted in the 6th round, man.
Unbelievable. It just goes to show you never know. You never
know. All you need is the opportunity.
Definitely.
It's like me. I got in the NFL. I played 6 years. I became a keynote speaker after my business rise and fall. I got one opportunity. A client that I worked for, coaching both his sons in football, offensive line technique. They go with the Ravens Club, a very upper echelon school in my area. I told him I wanted to be a public speaker. And next thing you know, 3 months later, he hires me to his company, which happens to be a Fortune 500 brand, NetApp. Boom. And I still had issues and struggle. I had to kind of build that credibility. But that's a great first job to have or sink your teeth into for a Fortune 500 brand.
Right. And now here you are years later, so you're successful. You're helping other people. You're helping me coming on the show today. We appreciate that so much here at Real Deal Sports Talk. Again, how can the listeners find out more about you one more time? And again, we'll put this on the website
sure.
also.
They can go to I have 2 different sites. They can go to my Leadership Academy, www.ogden, O-G-D-E-N, leadership.com, or you can go to my public speaking website. If you need a keynote speaker or you want to get into our coaching program to help you make that next step, that you have on leadership, transition. I do a lot of work with the U.S. military. I've been deemed a subject matter expert in leadership by the U.S. military, United Service Organization. I've actually got a speech coming up here in March at Fort Bragg, which I'm very excited about. I'll be at Fort Bragg, then I'll be at Camp Lejeune in Jacksonville, North Carolina, then back to Fort Bragg, talking to about 600 to 800 people, service members and their spouses about transition. Then I go down to Charlotte to talk to the National Guard, then back up to Camp Lejeune in North Carolina, Jackson, North Carolina. And, I'm talking at ECU in April. I've got to go out to Vegas here shortly. So being a speaker in leadership and professional development, leadership development, transition, bouncing back from rock bottom, business growth, sales, improving, continuity in a business. You can reach me at my public speaking website, which is www.marques, M-A-R-Q-U-E-S, Ogden, O-G-D-E-N, publicspeaker.com.
That is awesome, man. Definitely. And, my day job outside of this show, I work for Denver Public Schools with kids, and we do a lot of professional development. So I might just take you up on that offer and reach out to see if you can do some public speaking for us as well.
Yeah, you know what, Kyle? You know what I'm going to do, Kyle? I'm going to send to you really quickly through Facebook Messenger. I'm going to send you my ClickFunnels, and you can see a video that I did for a company called Bunker Labs. You can see testimonials on leadership and development from Home Depot, New York Life, J.P. Morgan, First Citizens Bank. The Buffalo Bills hire me every year to speak to their rookie class about professional development, social media management, branding, and then transition and preparing for life after football.
That is great. That is great. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy things are going good for you. Thank you for being on the show today. That is Marques Ogden, veteran offensive tackle, formerly of the Ravens, Jaguars, Texans, and Bills. Thank you, Marques, for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Oh, anytime, Kyle. It's a pleasure, man.
All right. Enjoy the Super Bowl, and we'll be in touch.
Sounds good, man.
All right, have a good one, Marcus.
All right.
Bye-bye. All right, so that was our interview earlier this week with former offensive tackle of the NFL, Marques Ogden. It was great having the opportunity to speak with him. He's doing big things now, and if you have any public speaking needs, or you are a company who's listening and you're looking for a keynote speaker, or you just want to reach out and learn how maybe you can transition your life, do that. Again, we'll have those websites and email addresses up on our website as well at realdealsportstalkwithkp.com. So look for that. Moving on, let's get into the Eagles. All right, storylines this week about the Eagles. This is the Eagles' third trip to the Super Bowl. They previous two times they've lost to Oakland and New England, so this is kind of a rematch for them. Fun story, Chris Long, he's not going to the White House again. Congratulations, I'm with you, sir. And he is also going to get a tattoo of the coach if the Eagles beat the Patriots. Alshon Jeffrey is pretty much guaranteed a win, saying they're going to bring the trophy back to Philadelphia. And then, of course, the Eagles getting sick this week. On the offensive side of the ball, you would have thought, Patriots, what were they? Patriots were fourth-ranked offense in the playoffs. Well, guess what? Philadelphia is the third-ranked offense in the playoffs. One better, 395 yards per game. They've scored 53 points. They're +1 in the turnover margin, so they're winning the turnover margin as far as they're putting their defense in a bad position. On the defensive side of the ball, the Patriots were the third-ranked defense. Again, the Eagles are one better in the playoffs. They are the second-ranked defense in the playoffs, giving up only 17 points so far in the playoffs, and having the turnover margin there as well. So this is a game that the Eagles can definitely win. The key players for the Eagles, for me, one of the big ones, obviously, is going to be Nick Foles. He can't turn the ball over. He can't go and have a 2-turnover, 2-interception type game, or the Eagles won't have a chance in this one. Running back by committee, I don't expect a lot from the running backs from Philadelphia, but just enough to get that first down, just enough to get that touchdown out of the running backs. Receivers, I have not been a big fan of the receivers all year, but expect Jeffrey to make a couple plays. I expect Torrey Smith to make a plays. Aguilar is feeling sick right now, and Ertz is probably the guy that they're going to try and take away. That is New England. Vaitai should continue to play strong. I would expect him to have a good game, and I would expect Johnson to also have a good game for the Eagles. On the defensive side of the ball for the Eagles, key players for me, Fletcher Cox, obviously. The rookie Derek Barnett, he needs to do his thing when he's in there. Brandon Graham and Michael Kendricks, you need to be rushing the passers as much as you can from that wide nine. Kendricks gave Slaughter problems in college. Could possibly see that again here in this game. Could be the difference. And the corners, just don't get beat. Keep it in front of you, and you should be okay. And again, give your team the option, the ability to be in it at the end. Keys to victory for Philadelphia. Win the turnover battle. Continue to do what you've done so far in the playoffs. Win that turnover battle. Use some of that Giants game plan that had proven to be an issue for Brady, and use it. Stay in it. Keep the pressure going from the middle, not just the outside. Don't let him step up in the pocket. Don't let him get free. Don't let extra time happen. Foles, you have to stay hot. Keep riding this wave. Stay focused. Do what you do. Get an extra play. Find plays to get extra plays that matter. That defensive score, that special teams turnover, a special teams score. Find those different key extra plays throughout the game. And then play your game. Control your emotions. Don't get sucked into, this is the empire. This is the mighty Patriots. Do what you do, and you have a chance, for sure, 100% to beat the Patriots in this game. Another person who thinks so is good friend of the show, Vance Johnson. Here's his prediction from earlier this week.
What's up, everybody? Vance Johnson with Futures of Palm Beach, and I'm here to talk with you about this year's Super Bowl, but more importantly, the Cinderella story. Now, the Cinderella story is about, we all know, Cinderella always gets her Prince Charming, right? This year, around week 4, week 5, I called the Philadelphia Eagles as the Cinderella team. And the reason why is I really felt early on that they would make it all the way to the Super Bowl. I didn't know whether they would win or not. Let me tell you a little bit more. Even when their quarterback got hurt, Wentz, I knew Foles would get in there and would knock this thing out the park, baby, because he's an Arizona boy just like me. And he went in there and he put points on the board. He had fresh legs, and that's the reason why they made it all the way to the big game. Now let's talk about the Super Bowl itself. Now, some of you may think, well, I'm about the Brady Bunch. I think the Brady Bunch is going to win the ball game. Listen, Belichick is a great coach, and Brady will go down in history as number 1 quarterback. In my heart, though, my number 1 is John Elway. But Brady will be there. He will show up, but I just don't think that he has enough to win this one because Cinderella always gets her man. Let's talk about the Eagles. The Eagles, in the last playoff game before they made it to the championship, they did really good. But in the championship NFC, they knocked it out of the park, scoring 38 points to knock out the number 1 defense in the NFL. The Vikings, Jaguars, Pats struggled the whole game. Now they know they can be beat. We're coming into this big game, everyone. Guess what? The Vince Lombardi Trophy is Prince Charming himself. And you know who's walking away with it? You called it. I've never been on ESPN, but Eagles win the Super Bowl 31-27. Go Eagles!
All right, so that was Vance Johnson. That's how he sees it. He is going with the Eagles to win this one. Other stories that came out this week, Ozzie Newsome is stepping down after next season as the GM of the Baltimore Ravens. The courting of LeBron James has spread to the NFL. As you know, we saw the Golden State, Miami, San Antonio talk. Well, Juju Smith-Schuster of the Steelers is now courting LeBron James to switch over to the NFL and play football, which he would make a matchup nightmare at the tight end position or even at receiver. Fun story for the Broncos. Von Miller has been fined $15,000 throughout the season for farting in team meetings. Okay. Kirk Cousins, he's on the free agent. He is the guy, expected to make $30 million per. To me, he's not worth that. He is a good quarterback, not a difference maker, great quarterback. But Denver, Minnesota, Jacksonville, Arizona, Cleveland, it's going to be a hot market. One of these teams are going to reach out and get him. Alex Smith's been traded to Washington this week, thus making Cousins available, it seems like, in free agency. And the Hall of Fame class has been announced. In the Hall of Fame class for this year, you have Ray Lewis, Randy Moss, Brian Urlacher, and they are joined by Terrell Owens, Brian Dawkins, Jerry Kramer, Robert Brazil, and Bobby Beathard. That is your 2018 Hall of Fame class, just being announced not too long ago. My prediction for Super Bowl 52 is as follows. Because I don't have a horse in the race and I just want to see a good game, I would expect New England to win this game. I predict Philadelphia's defense not only gives them the chance, but quite possibly makes the play against the great Tom Brady to win the Super Bowl. That's how I see it. You know how we do on this show. Until next time, keep it real.
It's that time, New England. Let's go. Get up. Get up. Everybody in the crowd. Get up. Get up. Let's go crazy. Let's get loud. Yell and scream. Show our team New England's where it's at. So get up. Get up. Let's go Pats. Yeah, get up. Get up. Let's go Pats. Come on, get up. Get up. Let's go Pats. Get up. Get up. Get up. Get up. Let's go Pats. Come on, get up. Get up. Get up. Let's go Pats. Everybody get up. Get up. Get up. Let's go Pats. Get up. up, get up, get up, get up. Let's go Pats.